In the darkness, the great wooden horse stands silent.
In the darkness, the great wooden horse stands silent in the square, a monument to cunning and deceit. The wind moans through its hollow frame, echoing the souls of fallen warriors. In the silent night, the moon spills silver light upon the stone walls of Troy. Proud and defiant, the citadel that has withstood 10 years of the Greeks' relentless siege. On the city gates, the torches flicker faintly, like the final breaths of a dying civilization. In the distance, waves crash upon the shore where 1,000 ships once set sail for a single face. Helen, the woman whose beauty bent the world. No one knows that on this very night, fate unlocks the final gate of the gods' cruel game. In the darkness, the great wooden horse stands silent in the square, a monument to cunning and deceit. The wind moans through its hollow frame, echoing the souls of fallen warriors. The sentinels gaze upon it, firelight reflected in weary eyes. They believe the war is over, that peace has finally returned. Yet within those still timbers, death itself lies waiting to awaken. Far beyond, upon a hill by the sea, Achilles stands beneath the moon, his gaze bearing the crimson weight of 10 years of battle. The wind carries the whisper of Athena, goddess of wisdom, into the heart of the immortal warrior. Glory is never eternal, only names carved upon ashes endure, and Eris, god of war, smiles in the night, enthralled by mankind's endless spiral of honor and destruction. High upon Olympus, Aphrodite, who began this war with a golden apple, sheds a silent tear. Her gift of beauty has drenched the world in blood. A single breath, the breath of fate. This is the tale of honor and destiny, of love and blood, of mortals who dared defy the gods. This is the Battle of Troy, where heroes became legends and legends turned to ash. Before Troy was consumed by fire, everything began with a banquet of the gods. On that day, atop Olympus, the wedding of Peleus, a mortal hero, and Thetis, the sea goddess, was celebrated in splendor. Every god was invited, save one, Eris, goddess of discord. Furious at being excluded, Eris entered the feast and cast upon the table a golden apple, engraved with the words, "For the fairest." 3 goddesses rose at once, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, each certain that the apple was hers. Their quarrel shook Olympus itself until Zeus sought a mortal judge. Fate chose Paris, Prince of Troy. Paris, the shepherd prince with dawn's own beauty, was visited by the 3 goddesses upon Mount Ida. Hera promised him supreme power. Athena promised him unmatched wisdom. Aphrodite merely smiled and promised him the most beautiful woman on earth. Paris, seduced by the promise of love, handed the golden apple to Aphrodite. At that moment, the fate of the world shifted, for the most beautiful woman alive was Helen, wife of King Menelaus of Sparta. Aphrodite kept her word, and Helen's heart turned toward Paris. When they fled together, the flames of war engulfed all of Greece. Agamemnon, brother of Menelaus, swore vengeance. He summoned kings, warriors, and 1,000 ships toward Troy. The sea winds howled like the cry of Cassandra, the prophetess who foresaw the doom, yet none believed her. Upon Olympus, the gods divided. Athena and Hera stood with the Greeks, Aphrodite shielded Troy. And so, a single golden apple sowed the seed of 10 years of blood and fire. It was not the sword, but human pride that first ignited the war. 10 years had passed since the first sails left the harbors of Sparta. Upon the plains of Scamander, beneath the walls of Troy, the soil had drunk its fill of blood. The war had claimed thousands of lives, yet victory belonged to no one. And then destiny whispered the name Achilles, the immortal warrior with a mortal heel, son of the sea goddess Thetis. Across the field stood Hector, prince of Troy, defender of the city, symbol of honor and loyalty, spear in hand. 2 men, 2 flames of destiny, stood face to face amid roaring winds and the burning sun. Achilles bore in his heart the wrath of one who had lost his dearest friend Patroclus, slain by Hector's spear. Since then, hatred had burned in him like an unquenchable flame. Upon Olympus, Athena, goddess of wisdom, leaned down to shield Achilles, and Apollo, god of light, stood by Hector, granting him the courage of the sun. 2 gods, 2 wills, drew the earth into a vortex of chaos. The bronze horns blared. The 2 warriors clashed like thunder. When spear met shield, the sparks shone like falling stars upon the earth. Hector turned, his spear singing through the air, but Athena deflected its path. Achilles struck back with the fury of a storm, his spear piercing Hector's throat. Beneath the sun, the prince of Troy fell, his eyes wide, staring into the vanishing sky. Hector's final breath drifted toward the city walls, where Andromache and Priam prayed in vain. Achilles bent down, his eyes no longer burning with rage, but hollow with sorrow. "Honor demanded blood," he whispered, "yet blood cannot return a friend." At that moment, all of Olympus fell silent. Eris, god of war, bowed his head in reverence, for even the gods knew no victory comes without tragedy. 2 heroes, 1 honor, 1 destiny. When the sword touches the soul, one learns that victory is but another kind of loss. the wooden horse, and the fall of Troy. After Hector's death, Achilles believed the war was nearing its end. But war, like the serpent of fate, continued to coil around the hearts of men. In the months that followed, the Greek army grew weary, its spirit dimmed, while Troy still stood proud amidst the ashes and dust. When strength could no longer conquer, cunning began to speak. Odysseus, the man with a mind as deep as the sea, conceived a daring plan. The great wooden horse, a hollow horse, taller than the city walls, was built as an offering to the goddess Athena. The Greeks pretended to withdraw, leaving the immense horse on the shore as their ships burned faintly beyond the horizon. Inside Troy, the people gathered in wonder. Some claimed it was a peace offering. Others, like Laocoon, priest of Poseidon, warned them, "Beware of Greeks bearing gifts." But as his words still echoed, two giant serpents rose from the sea and crushed him and his sons, a sign, they thought, of divine anger. Terrified and deceived, the Trojans dragged the horse into the city. Night fell. Troy slept under the haze of victory wine. The last torch flickered out upon the walls, and in the darkness the horse's belly creaked open. From within, Greek warriors, hidden all day, slipped out like phantoms. At their head was Odysseus, his eyes gleaming with the light of vengeance. Silently, they opened the gates for the returning army in the dark. From the sea, the Greeks' oars struck the waves like the heartbeat of Eris. Flames erupted. Screams, collapsing stone and clashing steel merged into a fiery, tragic symphony. Priam, the aged king of Troy, fell before the altar of Zeus, where he prayed for mercy, but the gods remained silent. Andromache clutched her child as the roof above her caved, heaven itself collapsing into ruin. On the heights, Aphrodite wept for what love had wrought, while Athena stood silent, the cold symbol of victory, bathed in blood. Troy, the city once cradled by the god, and now nothing but smoke. Achilles, once the symbol of might, too met his fate, slain by an arrow to his heel, loosed by Paris. Both victor and vanquished faded into ashes alike. The gods laughed upon Olympus, while men wept beneath the ruins of their own illusions, the echoes of honor and destiny. When the first sun rose after Troy's fall, its light pierced the ashes, shining upon what remained of a once glorious empire. The walls had crumbled, the statues shattered, yet the names of heroes still echoed in the memory of mankind. They say that upon the plains of Scamander, grass grows over the warriors' graves, and when the wind blows, you can still hear hooves and bronze horns. Achilles, the immortal, had died, yet his cry for honor lives on in the hearts of all who chase glory. Hector, defender of Troy, fell, yet his spirit became the emblem of loyalty and duty. Helen, the woman who launched 1,000 ships, became the symbol of beauty's power and tragedy. And Odysseus, who conceived the wooden horse, left the world a lesson in wisdom and the cost of cunning. On Mount Olympus, the gods gazed down, silent as ancient mountains. They understood that even gods are bound by the threads of fate. The golden apple had vanished, yet ambition, love, and pride, the roots of the war, remain within the human heart. Troy has fallen, yet the legend does not die. Thousands of years later, storytellers, poets, and historians still speak their names as if recalling the essence of humanity itself, caught between light and shadow. Honor lifts mankind toward the divine, but destiny drags them back to dust. And between those two forces, the beauty of tragedy is born. When honor meets destiny, mankind writes immortal songs, and from Troy's ashes, the world learns the price of glory.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts! Hail, great Athena! Hail, the wooden horse! Troy has prevailed! When strength could not longer conquer, cunning began to speak. A hollow monument of deceit growing, carved in the name of the goddess of wisdom. They called it a gift, a peace offering to Athena. And so the Greeks vanished, leaving behind only silence and suspicion. Some saw hope, some saw a trap, but pride silenced all warning.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts!
Yet the gods had chosen their silence, and man ignored his own wisdom. The gods answered, not with mercy, but with terror.
When the first sun rose after Troy's fall, its light touched.
Once a city of kings and glory, now only silence answers the wind. The walls have fallen, yet the names endure. The immortal warrior has fallen javelin, yet his cry for honor still rides the wind.
He died defending his home and became the spirit of loyalty itself. The beauty that kindled 1,000 ships.
He who conceived the wooden horse gained victory and the burden of wisdom. A 1,000 years may pass Moin, yet the wind still carries their echoes. Honor lifts mankind toward the divine Rihai, even when destiny drags them back to dust. When honor meets destiny, mankind writes immortal songs.
The golden apple. It follows me even here.
We are the echoes of those who came before, and the voices of those yet to be.
Once a city of kings and glory, Vorike. Now, only silence answers the wind. The walls have fallen, yet the immortal warrior has fallen. Yet his cry for honor still rides the wind.
The beauty that kindled 1,000 ships. Now
He who conceived the wooden horse gained victory, Herland, and the burden of wisdom. Even the gods understood that they too are bound by fate. The gift that began the war now lies forgotten, Fern. 1,000 years may pass rapidly, yet the wind still carries their echoes. Honor lifts mankind toward the divine reign, even when destiny drags them back to dust. When honor meets destiny, mankind writes immortal songs.